Hello everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations. Here with Simon today, and we're going to be doing another subscriber chart reading. As always, I'm super excited to be delivering these videos to you and sharing a little bit about how astrology works, talking about the nature of the soul, and hopefully nourishing your ability to not only learn astrology, but also to be encouraged to see your chart from the same perspective. Okay. So let's have a look at what's actually going on in this chart today. The first thing that we always do is we look at Pluto. And if you've been following the series, you'll know that Pluto is the bottom line of the astrology chart in EA. And it reflects to us the nature of how we come into this lifetime with certain attachments. And these attachments is what drives our evolution. It's what allows us to understand what the context of our existence is about, because it is in those merging attachments do we see the why, right? We understand the connection. And so it's the family dynamics, it's the unresolved emotional feelings that really pull us to this earthly plane. And it gives us the opportunity to work through whatever it is that our soul has come to work through in this lifetime. So the bottom line, Pluto sits in the 5th house of the astrology chart here. And this reflects to me a soul that's choosing to live a life through creative purpose, to find their mission in life and to live out that destiny in a way that gives them a deep satisfaction in creative meaning, right? To look at life and say, hey, this is my destiny. This is the fulfillment that I've come here to experience. So as the Pluto sits in the 5th house, but it's also in the constellation Scorpio, it tells me that the generational theme that comes with the chart has a lot to do with a feeling of empowerment and disempowerment. Okay. Firstly, we look at Pluto as, again, the core, and with the generation being in Scorpio and the planetary ruler of Pluto being Scorpio and the other way around, i.e. Scorpio being the planetary ruler of Pluto, this is a double sort of emphasis. It's like a deep, deep psychological state of empowerment that is being linked with not only this generation, but also part of the, subconscious memories that are associated with this soul story, meaning that the dynamics, the core questioning as to what empowerment means is a big path of creative purpose, creative destiny. This is the soul here that's come to transform their lives through saying, I matter. This is a really important expression, I matter, because with this type of symbolism, there could have been a tendency in prior lifetimes to have been deeply disempowered through not only merging with other people's creative pursuits, but never actually knowing what their own is, due to a sense of abandonment or a loss, potentially losing faith in what that's about. And if you have a look at the nodes of the moon here, the south node of the moon being in the 5th house, and also in the constellation Libra, there's an element of past life memories that are linked with following other people's pursuits of truth and comparing and contrasting, right? Because Libra is all about compare and contrast. It's all about this and that. So with the 5th house, it's a sense of, oh, is this your creativity? Well, this is my creativity. And comparing and contrasting and looking at the different ways that other people express their, creative pursuits and what their personal destiny is like. And then, in a sense, trying to figure out where they fit within the context of the information that they're interacting with. So with the North Node being here in the 11th house in Aries, the experience of growth in this lifetime comes through, I need to initiate a path of self-expression that's uniquely my own, right? And the planetary ruler of the North Node in this chart is Mars, and that sits in the 5th house. Sorry, not the 5th house, the 6th house. And it's very closely connected to Neptune, in the sense that it's, even though it's just under a 10-degree orb there, it still means that there's a very strong connection between the subconscious memories of the collective, which is Neptune, right? The imprinting that society and the memories of society at this current time are influencing the soul. Let me give you a deeper understanding of what I mean by this. When we look at Neptune in the chart, we make the relationship to, or we make the correlation to it as the collective's subconscious, right? The overall permeating essence of existence that we as human beings, as a collective, swim within. So right now, we're all in a collective experience where we look at America and we can see that Donald Trump is the president. How does that ripple into the collective field of what that feels like? Everybody's fears. We live in a world in which we, in the 1960s, we, had the experience of a man landing on the moon, as an example. How that rippled through the creative, or should I say, through the collective's expression of themselves. This is Neptune. And it's the nature of what imprinting and projections and, ideals are currently floating around, and how we're connecting to that in a universal way. So with Neptune being very closely connected to Mars here, and Mars being the ruler of the North Node, and the North Node being in the 11th house, we can synthesize these archetypes to be something around creative pursuit, right? I.e., always the bottom line of Pluto, creative pursuit, linked with an individuation process that has a very deep impact on the collective's impression, or that is deeply influenced by the experience or the absorbing of the collective's subconscious memories. You're, in a sense, trying to establish a creative pursuit, and because the North Node sits in the 11th house, it's like, which groups do you align with? Which are the types of circles do you associate yourself with? What's your friends like? And deep within that friendship group, deep within that collective or group orientation, right, you're connected to the subconscious memories that each group has. And how does your individuality link up with the synthesis? In other words, how do you link up with the groups or the people in the group relative to their perception of subconscious memories that are about the unconscious, or should I say about the collective impression? So let me put this in a very clear way, because I've obviously gone way too deep in that sense, so I do apologize for that. But when I look at the synthesis of those symbols, meaning the North Node, Mars, and Neptune, remember Mars and Neptune are all in Capricorn, so this is about structure. This is about the soul needing to persevere through establishing a life that is about dedication, that is about slow progressive change over time. So slow progressive change over time, that is about restructuring the perception of the soul that has an overall effect on the collective's subconscious memory. And part of your story is to individuate that, is to, merge out of that, to bring your own, to align yourself with not other people's perceptions of creative pursuit, but to validate and express your own in that way. And you can see here with the moon being in the 8th house Aquarius, there is a psychological state of detachment that allows you to objectify, to separate yourself from the merging between what the person is, or should I say what the collective is about, and what you are about, So in ending off this video over here, what I wanted to put across was a practical example of how this could show up is within the group, everybody has a specific idea, and this idea is deeply influenced by the current conditions that the collective is going through. It is your job to creatively pursue a perception of truth that is separate from that allows the transformation of that group to see in a way that is also liberating themselves from the merging of the subconscious memories of the collective consciousness, right? To objectify that, to say, oh, can you see that we're being influenced by this over here, and that we're caught up in it? And in order for us to create transformation, in order for us to, live our purpose, we need to liberate ourselves from the stickiness that is the Maya, the stickiness that is the creative expression that the collective defines as healthy versus what is individually good for you. Yeah? So I hope that resonates with you. I hope that you found a deep sense of nourishment in that expression. I hope that in listening to this today, that it sort of awakens a sense of identity around what you're trying to accomplish, maybe in a validation. And of course, for those of you that are actually watching this video itself on YouTube and getting inspired by how to read this, I obviously hope that you also got nourished by this experience. And so as always, thanks very much for your time, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.